Thank you for joining me today. I have a friend who would like me to divide this into two, so I'm going to cut it this way. Now I realise I've already done how to cut a feather pillow in half. This is actually a fibre-filled pillow. I'll be showing you how to cut this fibre-filled pillow in half, so let's get on with it. The first thing I'm going to do is measure from the centre all the way down to this end, which makes it 43, which is 21.5 inches is the centre. If you want to double check, just fold your soft measuring tape in half and you'll always get it right. So let's have a look here. What I'm going to do is mark my 21.5 inches across the centre like this on both sides. And I will measure up from both sides because sometimes you will find that a cushion might be slightly angled. If I measure from there to there, it's only 20.5 inches, slightly angled along the front there. 42 is 21. I've got 3 in, this one doesn't look right. If I measure from there to there across there, I might have to alter that one too. So that does need to go over to 21. I will have to make sure that all of my divides are exact because they have got it slightly shaped. And I'll do the same on the other side too, just to make sure everything's where I need it to be. Flip that over and start again. Always double check measurements if it doesn't seem to be looking right. Now with this, because I'm going to be just cutting it in half, means there's not going to be enough trim. With a ruler, I am going to draw a line joining those pins up. I'll do it on one side like this, and now tip the pillow over and start again on this side. Now some of the pins might look a little bit off, and that's okay because measuring halfway along a pillow that's shaped is not exactly an easy feat. Remove the pins. Now I'm going to pinch the fabric like this along my line until I can get my scissors in through the hole like that. Cut along my line all the way through the trim and around the other side. Really not that difficult. There is something a bit cooky about this pillow, namely she didn't say that she had an inner pillow in there. These should pull out. I like my job. There's always something different going on about it. So now we've got to start again. Okay, so I've got to re-measure this from the seam to the seam. Look at that, 45.5 inches, so it's longer. So it should be 22 3/4. Again, I am going to repin it. I couldn't feel a cover underneath because the other cover was velvet. It's very thick. It slows you down when you think one thing and find out different. I actually took a little snip in, and I think my friend's playing Russian dolls with me because as I undo this one down the centre, there's actually another cover here. It is attached here. I'm going to just take this off, undo it across here and then remeasure it. So third time lucky today. Measure from the seam here all the way over here and we'll see whether it's grown yet again. 46. So I'm going to pin as I had, draw my line. At least we can see that this is the last layer. I'm going to just cut all the way through to the other side. Turn that over and again cut. I'm cutting through everything. Sometimes it's easier than others to go through. Depends what kind of fibre fill they've got, because they come in varying densities from one cushion to another. What I'm going to do is a small back stitch. I was going to do this on my sewing machine, but then realised that I don't have a good bed on the side of the sewing machine to hold all of this in place. So I'm going to have to hand sew it, and it's a small back stitch. I'm going to try not to pull it in too much, which is why I chose the back stitch. The stitches are about, at the back, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and at the front 1/8. And I'm not really worrying about making sure that they are end on because this is going to be hidden. If there's a little gap between each stitch, don't worry about it. It's not that important to make sure that they're end on. It's just important to get sewn across. A nice simple stitch which is quite even all the way. It's about 1/8 in from the outside edge where I've folded the fabric over. I'll take these pins out as I go and just rework how I want it to be put in. I've got to remove the piping, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. I can do it either one of two ways. I can cut it and then I've got to pull out all these little threads in order to clear the fabric up, or I can do it this way and I pull out the threads as I go, although every now and again I'm going to have to cut the thread anyway so that I can get in there. Because it's velvet, if you end up with lots of little threads in there, they're very awkward to get out because you are liable to pull parts of the velvet out too. Now I might be able to do that most of the way around. You really need to have some length to your piping if you're going to do that, but where it's sewn in with the upholstery thread, I'm not going to be able to do that. The upholstery thread is going to have to be pulled out like this and in sections. This is just where they hand sewed it shut. Either way, a very tedious and time consuming project. At least I've got longer threads to pull out. I'm going to work my way around both halves of the cover. Be careful when you do it because you do not want to rip your fabric, and I have done that on a number of occasions in the past. That's quite a lot easier. You still got to pull out all the little bits, but you shouldn't have so many little bits to pull out as if you had cut each or every few stitches. I won't pull it into the corner here because that's usually got quite a bit of stitching in, and the same here. See, it doesn't want to come out and I don't want to ruin the fabric, so I will carefully cut and pull threads here until they're all out, and then I'll carry on up around the corner on both sides. This side was sewn onto these two, so that's why you have to pull them out separately. Work out which side was sewn onto the other, because if you pull the wrong side you're going to make a horrible mess in the fabric. Be careful you don't cut through and cut anything you're not meant to. Even though technically I did cut these straight, I'm still going to straighten up the side that I originally cut because it is slightly wonky. Straighten that side out, and I'll straighten this side out as well. Line up those two sides and see how straight they are to the other side, because one of these was really quite wonky. Here it's all out. Straighten up this side all the way across, and then I'll see how straight it is to the bottom piece of fabric. Actually, I'm just going to straighten this side out as well, and then I'm going to make sure that both are even top and bottom here too. I am not going to be putting a zip in, so I'm just going to put those two ends together. This is the bottom of the cushion, so the pile goes that way, and despite me taking it apart the way I did, there are going to be a number of brown or pink threads that still need to come out, but not as many as if I had cut the threads and left them to be taken out later. You really need to use a pair of tweezers when you do that. I've got my corner here, forward and back, and then forward into this corner. As I come into the corner, I'm going to drop my needle, pick my foot up and twist into place, and sew along here to the top. It might walk because it's got a pile. You might find one side walks against the other. I'm hoping not to sew any of these threads into the seam because they're awkward to pull out otherwise. Pinch the top corner together so it's even, and sew. Again, twist the top into place like you did at the bottom. Pull any extra threads out that you can find. Because this is a velvet, I usually sew into the centre and hold that level there. Make sure that's down. Sew into the centre. It doesn't have to be exactly centre, just somewhere along the top. This is the side that I had started on and gone round halfway through to the back. I'm going to start on this side. Make sure that my corners are even here. Sew into the corner. Again, forward and back. Needle down, foot up, twist. And again, I'm going to sew to the top corner. Try to make sure your raw sides stay even, because velvet has a habit of not just walking up and down but sideways too. Hold my two top corners together so that they should be even all the way across, and pull slightly. Needle down, foot up and twist. Pull the fabric towards the centre where I stopped sewing, and I'm going to sew across to that point. This is where I finished, so I'm going to get to here, and now I'm just over stitching those stitches. cut a little bit off each corner like that, so it crunches down when I turn it the right way round. Just make sure you mind your stitches. There's nothing worse than getting your stitches all messed up and having to start again. I'm going to work my way in from either side to make sure that the seam is even. And then this side, and I'll work my way into the centre. You could start in the centre and work out, it really doesn't matter, so long as whatever you do goes in relatively evenly. Make sure that has the seam allowance on it, again on this side, until it's all pinned into place. Here's the opening, and I'm coming through about an inch behind where I stopped sewing. I'm going to come across 1/4 of an inch at the most and into place, directly opposite and across the fold like that, 1/4 of an inch stitch length, exactly opposite into the fold and about 1/4 of an inch. Remember to pull the stitches in quite tight so that they are equal to a machine stitch. Now this is a little bit time consuming, but will be worth it when it's done. The velvet's just a little bit awkward to sew because it's quite a firm fabric. And now I'll make my way all the way across this opening and start the second one. I'm just going to carry on stitching next to the seam for a good 2 inches, just like casting off, but you're not going over the same stitch, you're just going further along. There should be enough thread here in the back here that it doesn't pull through. This was the end of it, and I've just carried on. That shouldn't pull open at all. Thank you for joining me on this project. Please take into account that when you do a remake for anybody, it's usually twice the time that it takes that you would cut a new one. This had 2 sides that had just been sewn in normally and 1 side that had 4 rows of stitching. So it was, and I realised 2 of those rows were caused by a zigzag. But even so, they were tight little stitches and really quite awkward to get undone. And you don't want to be cutting the trim off because then you don't have enough fabric. And sometimes you can get away with it, but I wouldn't have done it here. I think my friend's going to be really pleased with these. They've turned out quite pretty. They don't really need the trim on them. So if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe and hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be brilliant. In the meantime, take care, see you later. Ciao!